Hello, this is TecXplore. My name is Benjamin Tua. You can call me Benji.
And I am Becky Abraham. Today we are going to be discussing about roles in tech. We hope you enjoy it. Karibu sana.
Joining us today is a special guest. Can you kindly introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, Benjamin, for having me in this platform. My name is Philip Watuma. I'm a senior business analyst, and I've been around for some time, for almost a decade now, but with cumulative experience of almost 15 years in various industries. Just to mention a few: banking, development world, otherwise known as not-for-profit or NGOs, media, fast-moving consumer goods industries, distribution, real estate, and also logistic and shipping. Thank you.
Quite interesting. Thank you for that introduction. I have known you for a long while,
Yeah.
since I was born, by the way. Yeah. So, on to my first question. What motivated you to become a business analyst?
This is quite an interesting journey. It takes me back almost 13 or 15 years back when I got a role in a shipping industry, a firm, where they were doing ERP migration. They were changing the system. They were upgrading, actually. The business they had and the system they had, the system could not match the business, so there was the need to migrate. And I joined as those young interns to help in the data migration, data entry, and I was exposed to a lot of sensitive information, big data at that time.
Wow,
And
interesting.
it was quite interesting.
Okay, so during then, did you know that the roles or tasks you're doing were business analyst related?
To be frank, no. Actually, that role was anchored under Department of Finance because it was an SME, small medium enterprise, and most of the SMEs do not have robust systems. They only put systems where money is, essentially. So this was a system in the accounting and finance department. And by background, because by then I was still in school, that's what I was studying. So actually, to be frank, I didn't know.
Okay, you mentioned big data
Mhm.
in the shipping industry.
Yes.
Probably right now you are quite familiar with the term big data. So I would be curious to know what kind of big data you were interacting with back then.
This was a line of business. So you can imagine this company was used to handling a ship consignment. So a ship consignment, one ship docks at the port.
Okay.
This ship is carrying consignment of 4 clients. So those were only 4 invoices. Now you've got a consignment where a ship comes with 4,000 containers. So those are 4,000 invoices.
Yes.
So, and there was a lot of documentation because when this cargo comes into the country, it has to be declared. So there's a lot of information being declared for taxation. There's a lot of information being declared for custom checks. There's a lot of information being declared for security. And there's also a lot of information being declared for billing purposes. So that's why there was need to upgrade. And that was very big data. One voyage, ship's trip is called a voyage.
Okay.
So one voyage documentation, I'm telling you, files this size. And in that particular month, there could be like 20 voyages. So you can imagine the data we were dealing with.
So before this system, actually this process was being done manually.
Yes.
All right. Must have been a very tedious task.
Very, very. Actually, there was a department called documentation department, just dealing with that paperwork.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good to learn. How important is industry-specific knowledge for this role?
Senior business analyst, right?
Yes.
You cannot analyze what you don't know.
Definitely.
So internally, you need to understand the business end to end. Also, you need to understand the environment the business is operating in. So an analyst is someone, if you are not, you don't like learning new things every time, this role is going to give you a challenge because every day as an analyst, you are learning. So you need to understand the process. You need to understand the people behind the process. You need to understand the tools behind the process. You need to understand the architecture behind the process. Because when you're analyzing, the insights you give are not only the bottom line insights. You're also talking about the processes.
Okay.
Yeah. So in your insights, you also need to pinpoint which system, which tool, which process is bureaucratic. Where can we improve? You can only do that if you understand the context. Also, don't be boxed inside the box. Think
Okay.
outside the box. So you also want to know, what are the industry peers doing?
Okay.
How is the industry doing? Where is your competition? What are they doing? So you just need to be abreast with what is going on.
All right. So I also understand this role cuts across various departments,
Yes.
across various lines of businesses.
Mhm.
Would be just curious to know, is there specific departments which you interact with more than the others, and specifically, what are your roles interacting across board?
Of course, because I'm a business analyst, so I interact with the people who are interacting with the customers or who are offering the services to the customers. So my first internal clients are the business functions
Okay.
which support their customers, whether internal or external.
Yes.
So those are usually my first clients. Then, of course, depending with what I'm interested in, I interact quite often with the tech department. Also interact with other support departments. Depends with how the company is structured. So currently where I am, we have process engineering department, we have risk department, we have compliance department,
Yes.
and you'll find this insight are touching on all these things. So you'll find you are cutting across all these functions.
All right. So you have mentioned IT and also business.
Yes.
So how do you bring this handshake between these two quite different departments?
That's where business is only. That's where we come in.
All right.
This role bridges these two functions. Tech function is very technical. Business function is speaking business language. So from the tech side, the business side is very simplified.
Okay.
But they are the ones who are driving the business. So the simplicity is in what they do.
Yes.
But the business side, when they look at the tech side, these people are very complex. But they are the ones who are supporting them. So as analysts, we are the bridge between the two. We understand the languages of both.
All right.
So
Thank you for
we are
that.
the liaisons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what essential skills should an aspiring business analyst have?
Of course, we'll start with the hard skills, which are also known as technical skills. A good analyst needs to abreast himself with various tools, depending on where you get your data from.
Yeah.
So, if there's a lot of data mining, so you need to abreast yourself with the data mining skills, and then you also need to abreast yourself with how do you clean this data? How do you reduce noise? In data we call it noise.
Yeah.
When the data is not consistent, how do you eliminate this noise? So that now this data speaks to a uniform language. So there are tools to do that.
Yeah.
And then after now the data has no noise. Now how do you manipulate it? Because these are raw data in rows and columns most of
Yes.
the time. That's how data is stored. So how do you manipulate this data to make sense? There are some people who see these raw data as they just shut. Someone sees a big database, like, tell them, but this data relates to what you do. They just shut. But when you bring the insights, they get really excited out now to see what the data is saying. So the technical skills are very important. But again, as a business analyst, you are not working in isolation. So you need to know how to deal with people.
Yeah.
So your communication skills need to be at par. You need to know how to interact with people, cross-functional skills. A business analyst is someone who doesn't say this belongs to this department. No. If you need something done in a particular department, you know whom to talk to
Definitely.
so that things get done. Of course, people are not the same. Some people are not easy to deal with. So you need to learn that skill of dealing with those who are difficult to deal with, but you have no choice. You have to deal with them. So at the end of the day, you find a business analyst is a very easy person who knows how to handle everyone, because your role is to support them. It's not a role in isolation.
Good. Thank you for that insight. Um, also, just trying to think from what you just mentioned. Sometimes I believe there will be a change management perspective when you are introducing new technology to the business. So this is the link between the business and the IT.
Yes, yes.
So how is there a role that you play to convince the business people on what solution that's coming by and how it's going to help them?
That's a very good question. In my first role, the one I talked about in the shipping industry, I remember there was a lot of resistance. Just for lack of better word, there was also some hostility aspect, because the oldies who were there, they were quite oldies, because even using a computer was a problem. The basic computer, it was like reading emails. Someone had to print the emails for them to read. So first, what I learned, and it took some time, but I had to crack it. You sell the value. Once you sell the value, they will buy the idea.
Okay.
They will change their concept. They will change their attitude. But of course, now an analyst is someone who needs to be willing to do a lot of capacity building, so that now you help them to integrate into the systems, and you are the person to call when they forget to click that function button.
Quite interesting. Reminds me of a technical joke. We used to call them ID10T.
I know it.
I'm not going to read that word.
I know it.
Yeah, good. Thank you for alluding that. So, what are the biggest challenges you face in translating technical data into the business insights?
My biggest challenge in handling technical data is dealing with very noisy data. Because data is structured in layman's language. Data is structured in two forms, either whether it's structured or it's unstructured.
Okay.
A lot of data out there is very unstructured. So someone just throws you information in different formats, and they're expecting insights very fast. Interestingly, that is something I learned the hard way.
Yes.
Consumers of insights don't care about the technicalities. That's why you are there. Do your stuff. What we care is the results. And their results are insights. So I remember I used to take a lot of time explaining myself, what I did. They're not interested in that. What they're interested in is the end product, which is an insight for them to make a decision.
A quick button with a filter and submit.
Yes.
See results.
That's what they're interested.
Okay.
How hard it is, that's none of their business.
Okay.
It was something hard for me to comprehend. But the moment it is synced, my life became easier.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. So probably to my last question, what future trends do you foresee in the role of business analysts?
Business analyst, they used to be emerging roles. They are not emerging anymore.
Okay.
What is emerging are the trends, and various tools are being used to aid the process. And AI is here.
Good.
Or I can say was here. We kept on talking about the future. Actually, the future is today now. We are there. AI is here, and AI is here to disrupt.
Yes.
But it's not here to take away people's jobs, because that's what people think. But what AI will do, it will replace those who are using it with those who are not using it. So people who are using AI are going to take over the industry.
Right. So what you're saying, AI is an enabling tool.
It's an
towards
enabler. It's an
the
enabler.
business processes that
Yes,
you're
yes,
trying to do.
yes.
Quite interesting insights. I'm quite excited, and I've also learned from you where we started in the shipping industry, just understanding various terms. I don't know whether I can remember. Uh, the perspective of data entry from that side. You also mentioned about data mining. Quite interesting from business analysts doing data mining, data cleaning. We have this common quote, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
And I think indirectly you have discussed about that,
Yeah.
that you need to prepare the data which is there. You also mentioned about noisy data. It's not that data has sound, but can be noisy and messy. So slicing and dicing this data is what also one of the roles that business analysts try and play. So thank you very much for this session. Also looking forward to learning more as we proceed. Thank you for joining us.
The pleasure was mine, definitely. Asante.
Karibu sana. Wow, Becky, that was a nice interview. What do you think?
Man, that was a lot
Really?
of insights, but as I was listening to you guys having this conversation,
Yes.
it took me back to my very, very first job. My very, very first job was a business analyst. So the full title was Business Intelligence Business Analyst.
Okay.
And as he kept going on, and I'm like, I have come a long way.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that were mentioned, and it's good. They're very good takeaways. So number one, let's just say, throw away the box thing.
Yeah.
That's it. It should be rule number one in any space, anything you do. We are so used to operating within a box that then when it comes to innovation, when it comes to change management, as a business analyst, if you operate within a specific set of a box, it's going to be very hard to handle change management when it comes. Yeah, so for me, that was very, very key.
Good. Maybe you mentioned that it was in a shipping industry.
Yeah.
And of course, I would think that's Mombasa. So I would just...
The boxes, literally.
Exactly. This old mzee speaking in Swahili.
Yeah.
Yani mambo gani haya? Unatuletea nini kijana mdogo?
Mahesabu hapa na pale.
Hapo sasa, you see?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was able to show them value.
He definitely did. I mean, listening to that journey, and the important part is, as a BA, you always have to demonstrate value. So he said that they started seeing the sense as he kept explaining slowly all those things. So definitely value was delivered there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything else you picked?
My second other point that I picked that was very important, I could not insist this enough. Actually, I'm going to combine those two things. Interpersonal skills and domain knowledge.
Yeah.
Those are very, very key. As a BA, being a liaison between technical and business, you need to understand the domain knowledge properly. You need to work within the different departments in your organization to be able to understand what is important to these business users, because the value you're delivering is based on what these guys do. A BA is the person that is able to understand, for business to achieve what they need to understand, here are the key metrics, here are the important things to the business.
Yes.
So IT is a supporting function or a key driver for businesses to run. So the business analysts get to help both of these two units achieve that. So when you combine that with interpersonal skills, I think you get a dream team out of everyone that is involved.
Definitely. You had it. Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.